What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Thursday. Welcome in to another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all of my socials at Sports Talk Matt, and we are not back to recap anything because there's nothing to recap as we head into a Thursday. Now, you guys know of the same game teaser I gave out on yesterday. So that is live. I've got another play for today, and I have got two NFL player props for tonight's game between the Bills and the Dolphins to give you guys coming up on this episode of the Daily Juice Podcast. But before we do that, let's talk about our friends at Omaha Steaks. Guys, it's the fall, all right? It's the fall. And thus, being the fall, it is grilling season, it is tailgate season, it is getting a little colder around the country, and still those grills are barking at you saying, hey, don't forget about us. Got a chance to get after it and feed the family. If it's a weeknight you're looking at and you want to make it easy, how about Omaha Steaks? We've told you about these guys for a while now. If you haven't been with us and you're new, Omaha Steaks has been a great supporter of the Daily Juice Podcast for many years, and right now they have their Red Hot Sale event going on. You can get up to 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, Daily Juice listeners, you'll get an extra $35 off with the promo code JUICE at checkout. Grass-fed, grain-finished beef, more marbling for exceptional flavor, and it's the choice of steakhouses and professional chefs around the country. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. For an extra $35 off, you're going to use the code JUICE at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with the promo code JUICE at checkout. See site for details. All right, so I've given you that same game teaser where we've pulled the Bills down to 5.5. There's been a little bit of a juggle in the marketplace for what this number is going to close at. I mean, look, it's Thursday night football, okay? So everyone's going to be betting it, but 12.5 is a ridiculous number. I mean, DraftKings is currently at 12.5. 12 at Hard Rock, 12 at Fanatics. Okay, so we have books that have some pretty big numbers, and yet the professional money from the bookmakers I have talked to over the last 24 hours, we have seen money come in here by buying this total up to 14 and then taking the dog. So there's an opinion that the Dolphins are going to make it somewhat of a game because their season's on the line tonight. I don't hate that, but I just can't see this being a low-scoring football game. Like to me, I don't understand how we have this game be, a 20-7 type of football game. I just don't see it, given the way the Bills' offense has played, given what the Patriots just did to the Dolphins, and the fact that what the Dolphins had done to them the last time they went on the road in Week 1 to Indianapolis, they couldn't stop the Colts to save their life, and that was Daniel Jones. This is Josh Allen. This is an unbelievable offense that the Bills are going to put out there tonight. So it's hard to expect the Dolphins and bet the Dolphins to keep this game as a low-scoring game. So that's why I think you take the teaser and you go ahead and you pull it down and you go minus 5.5 Bills over 43.5. Now, that total has seen some action on it. We're at 50. But other books are at 49.5. We have seen this thing get bet down a little bit. And I think a lot has to do with the fact that the Bills' defense played well last week against the Jets. And maybe they don't think the Dolphins are going to be able to go out there and score enough to take advantage and put points up. Again, it comes down to how many points do you think the Bills are going to score. And to me, like a 30-14 type final is not crazy. So that's why I pull it down to 43.5 and bet over. And again, you can do that. If you haven't done that yet, you have 49.5s at DraftKings, at Circa. We've seen BetMGM, Hard Rock's 49.5. Fanatics is at 50. ESPN bets the high in the market. They're at 50.5, which is not that big of a surprise. So, and people saying the overs, the play, and we saw a lot of overs last week. So Thursday, short week, banged up teams, traveling on a short week. Miami thinks it's a good idea. It's a good thing that they're playing tonight after getting beat by the Patriots. I'm not sure that I agree with that, but it's a pretty good flight up from Miami to Buffalo, and it's going to be a rocking, drunk atmosphere tonight in Buffalo. So I think the same game teaser is the way to go because there's so many variables here. I don't really like laying 12 points, but if you want the dog, you can maybe wait for an in-game number. But there are many people that do believe that this is going to be a lower scoring game and that the Dolphins will be in it. So I'm going to lay the 5.5, and I'm going to go ahead and take the total down to 43.5 and go over just in case the Bills score a ton of points. Or you can turn around and go up and take 50 and go up to 56 and go under. It's kind of hard to see this game being over 56. Maybe if the Dolphins get after it offensively and the Bills don't stop anybody, which, look, the last time they played at home, they gave up, 40 points to the Ravens? So that's my fear, is that that defense is not that good, that the offense for the Jets, after the injury to Justin Fields, really couldn't do anything because of the backup quarterback situation. So that's why I like 43.5 and to go over, or 44, depending on if you're getting 50, go to 44 and go over, which is a key number. So we're going over 43.5 on a same game teaser situation coming up here for today. If you guys, I was mentioning Hard Rock, if you guys haven't heard as of yet, Hard Rock, they are the new title sponsor of the Daily Juice podcast. Always great when we have new sponsors who are involved with us. Now, you have an opportunity in Florida to use Hard Rock Bet. They are the only legal sportsbook in Florida, but they're also available in Arizona, Ohio, New Jersey, Indiana, Tennessee, Virginia, Illinois, and Colorado. More states launching all the time. You can also play Hard Rock Bet online casino if you live in the state of New Jersey. Sign up for a $5 bet. Sign up and make a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll get $150 in bonus bets. If you do win, head over to Hard Rock Bet. Sign up for your first deposit today and get $150 in bonus bets. All right, so let's talk about baseball for just 1 second. It's Quinn Priester Day. Now, I am very, very cautious with baseball today. Just FYI. There are huge races all over Major League Baseball, and I completely understand if you're like, hold on a second. Like, let's see what happens. What's this going to go? How are we going to look at this? Quintana just went on the IL for the Brewers. That's not good. The Brewers clinched. They're 50-27 at home. The Angels are 32-45. They're done. They're eliminated. Here's the worry. The Brewers have won the first two games of the series, 9-2 and 9-2. Quinn Priester has been our number one most bet pitcher of the 2025 season. Quinn Priester at home has a 3.75 ERA, and he is 7-1. I've said this over and over again. Quinn Priester, in games started by Quinn Priester, he has not lost. The team has not lost a Quinn Priester start since the 24th of May. Undefeated in June, undefeated in July, undefeated in August, and undefeated in September. The last time we bet a streak like this was when the Vegas Aces, who played tonight, by the way, were against Seattle. And they lost. 17 straight wins, and they lost. At some point, Quinn Priester is not going to win. If you want to do a two-leg moneyline parlay, I don't hate it with the Aces tonight against the Storm and the Brewers money line. That's going to be about a -110 play. We've played run line with the Brewers and Priester for a while, and he is 4 for 4 for run line bets that we have made because the price with Priester keeps on climbing. We're at 195 at some books right now for the Angels and the Brewers. 8-2, 5-2, 4-1, and 4-1. Priester has been tremendous. 1 earned, 0 earned, 2 earned, 2 earned, and the team has scored multiple runs for him. So it's Kikuchi tonight on the other side. We've talked about the Brewers' offense against lefties. They mash lefties. Kikuchi, 6-11, 4.08 ERA. As I said, 9-2, 9-2 the last two nights. We are just going to ride this. And I'm just telling you, if you want to go ahead and take it and bet Brewers and Aces moneyline parlay, you can do that. But let's take a shot here with the Brewers and the run line. Plus 115 for the Brewers on the run line. 1 unit down. Have them win by, lay the 1.5 runs. Have them go ahead, win by 2 or more here to keep it rolling here. But at some point, Priester's going to lose. At some point, the team's just going to have a bad night. At some point, it's just, law of averages in Major League Baseball that something is going to happen here tonight. But I'm going Brewers run line at plus 113. But again, if you don't want to lay the 1.5 and you want to do a 2-leg money line parlay with the Aces and the Brewers, you can do that as well. I don't hate that play at all to go ahead and do that because I do think you could have a chance. Maybe it's a 3-2 win or something, or the bullpen blows it for the Brewers. But that's how we're going to go ahead and play that. Lastly, 2 props for tonight on Thursday night. I thought it might be cool to show you guys the way it looks on the app for player props. These are 2 player props that were recommended to me on the BettingPros app. One of the cool new features for us when it comes to the BettingPros app, one of the upgrades, is customizable and really curated props that the app says, okay, we think you like betting football. Here are 2 of our favorite prop bets for tonight's game between the Bills and the Dolphins. This is how it will look when you go ahead and see it on your screen and you blow it up on your phone. This is what it will look like. You've got over 15.5 rushing attempts for James Cook. That has now, the under in this is hit in 10 of 15 games, but he hit it in the last game. If you see, normally I'm reading this to you guys. Now you can actually physically see it, where James Cook to go over 15.5 rushing attempts, and it makes a lot of sense from a game theory perspective that you've got a running attack. You're going to see the Bills try to run the football, get the heck out of Dodge, get a win, especially if they're up big and they're blowing out the Bills. James Cook to get a ton of usage tonight. James Cook over 15.5 rushing attempts at plus 106. That's available at FanDuel. You can go ahead and jump in on that. That's one play. Bet that to win a half a unit. Devon A-Chain, under 5.5 receptions at minus 105. It hit in the last game. It didn't hit in the first game. This has been basically 50% hitting for him, with the line being 5.5. That number at minus 105 is available at Hard Rock Bet. Under 5.5 receptions for Devon A-Chain. That is also to be bet to win a half a unit. So that's what it looks like if you haven't updated on the app yet, and I would recommend you guys and do that. If you haven't downloaded the app or updated the app in a while, go check it out, and you'll see these curated bets for you, and you'll see how it looks. So those are 2 plays. Bet those 2 to come in and win a half a unit on both for player props tonight here on a Thursday night. So Buffalo minus 5.5. Teased with the total down to 43.5 to go over at minus 123. The Brewers on the run line tonight against the Angels at plus 115 with Priester on the mound, and 2 player props like I just put up on screen for us to bet a unit there to win a unit coming back with 2 player props. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow me across all my socials at Sports Talk Matt every morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts. It is the Daily Juice.